Me llamo es Eric. Su llama es Rachel. Nosotros llamas son trayendo de familias y bibliotecas. So, there's that. We're live streaming a bit today. Why, you might ask? Well, it's one of the great mysteries. One of the great, great mysteries that we just won't ever know the answer to. Do you have any ... Well, what do I have in mind that is where the ... goes? Nothing in particular. I've come to believe that having titles like that, it invites people in because they want to answer the question or like fill in the empty spot.
I hope they do.
I could be wrong about that, but it's just an inclination I have that I have been titling accordingly, both shorts and other things. Like this short was titled, "Hey!" Exclamation point. Can we see the ... It got 2,400 views.
Wow.
So that's why I titled this, "Do you have any ... And I'm hopeful that it makes people. Rachel's got her eyes closed in the thumbnail.
Yeah, I wasn't ready.
That's fine, darling. That's fine. It's strawberry wine in the evening time. I tell you what else is fine as strawberry wine in the evening time. Right here, right now. Like, Mariposa, right now, is probably its most gorgeous time of the whole year. There's so much foliage. There's more foliage than you could shake off a stick with. Of course, one of the most lovely parts, hi Kylito Gold, one of the most lovely parts of the area around here at the moment. Trouble? No. No. You be nice. This cat is such a dick to his sister.
He really is so what to his sister?
He's such a dick to her.
He is such a dick to her.
She didn't do anything to invite his wrath.
She was just loving up on my shoes. Then he got jealous.
Mm-hmm. Not that he wants your shoes himself. He just wants her to have
He does it now, though. He copies her because he knows that she gets a good response from me. So now what he does is he awkwardly rubs against my shoe for like
a
3 seconds. Yeah. And then plops himself right here.
Because he's just trying to take over Capio's little bit of space that she has.
Yeah.
And the good news is, Trouble really can't be that much of a space Nazi because there's just too much space. Capio will go upstairs or whatever. Yeah. You know, she's got a lot of other options.
She's upstairs now.
You want me to watch you eat? You want me in the stream to watch you eat? Okay. This will be a good chance for me to make a pot of coffee as well. Additionally, come on, Mr. Man. Come and eat. You know you want to. Come and eat. Yes, you're a good kitty. I know. Alright, so I'm making a pot of coffee here. I don't really anticipate streaming for the longest time ever, but there's not really anything good on TV at the moment. Rachel and I went into town.
What?
I'm talking to the stream.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, I'm talking to the stream.
Oh.
I wasn't talking to you. I said Rachel and I went into town.
We did.
Yeah. So, anyway, Rachel and I went into town and to get cigarettes primarily. But everything's a little more complicated right now. And I'm waiting for a new bank card to come in the mail. I think I dumbly fell victim to a phishing scam. But fortunately, there wasn't any loss. They declined the fraudulent attempt. They're replacing my card, you know, etc., etc. So I gotta wait for that to come in tomorrow. So, you know, that's fine. Rachel bought me cigarettes and bought us dinner or lunch, really. Very late brunch, you might call it.
It was good though. We went to the Happy Goat Diner.
Yes, we went to the Happy Goat and it was Go Fish. Well, you know, it was like I hadn't been getting text messages for a long time before I got this new phone. And one of the first text messages I got was about like a USPS thing that happened to coincide in time when I had actually sent something, like priority mail or something. And it seemed legit to me because I went to the website and it looked like the genuine USPS website for all I could tell. But nevertheless, I'm guessing that was the phishing scam that got me because I've since seen plenty of other texts that are of an equivalent topic and such. But at the time, it was like one of the first texts I got after getting my new phone. I wasn't accustomed, I'd not seen that scam before, you know. So I guess I must have fallen victim to it because that's the only explanation I have for other people having my card information, you know. So that should come hopefully in the mail tomorrow or the next day.
Yeah, hopefully tomorrow.
Not like it's a big deal. It's just I know I'm gonna have to do a lot of like update your card on file for this thing, that thing, and I just want to kind of get it out of the way.
I have to update.
Hi, Levi Samuels. Sorry, go ahead.
Sierra Towel.
Okay. We'll update Sierra Towel. We got to update it with JW West or JS West or what are they called?
Yeah, JS West. I don't know why that took me so long to put together. Hey, Levi Samuels.
So, anyhow, that's kind of what's going on with us, except additionally what's going on with us is it's just so ridiculously autumnal around here.
Yeah.
Like, it's very pleasant just to look at the world when you call this autumn beauty.
I'm going to take a picture for Instagram.
It's a good idea. The light's not perfect right now, but still, it's not terrible. It's not as golden hour as it could be because we're kind of like in this wrinkle in the hills here where it gets dark, or like the sun it may not quite be sunset yet, but it's like sunset earlier here than it is like if we were on top of a ridge or something.
Yeah.
But one of the most scenic things around here right now is this apple orchard that we drive past every time we come in and out of here. And some of the apple trees are all flaming. You want me to do both feet?
Sure.
They're all like flaming colors, and then they have these, like like super yellow leaves or whatever, and then these bright red apples on them. It's very attractive. If you're into things like beauty, I guess. Yeah, it's also quite chilly today. When we went into town in the middle of the afternoon, it was 63 degrees. So supposedly we're on a slight warming trend for the next few days, and then next week, purportedly, we're gonna get some storms hitting California, all the whole state from northern to southern. Do you want to do it again? Or you got it?
I think it looks good.
Yeah, it looks great. You can just say matching feet in gold, black, and white.
Matching feet
In white, black, and gold.
white, pearl, and gold.
Well, Levi Samuels, I tell you, Rachel was listening to a weather report last night when we got into bed. There's some weather guy on YouTube, and country except the West Coast, they're looking at warmer than average temperatures for the next couple of weeks into November. So we'll see how that plays out.
Well, I think, yeah, we'll see how that plays out. And I think it plays out at least a little bit in our favor. We are supposed to get some rain, but what he was saying was when there's that high of temperature at a time that it's not supposed to be that warm, that the opposite always happens. So he warned that temperatures are going to be dropping
After the warming spell.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's true that if you have a stretch of abnormally high temperatures that when it ends, the opposite of that sort of happens. In other words, it goes through a cooling trend. It's just definitionally so.
Yeah. I think he was saying like snow, so like to enjoy the weather while it's there because it's gonna be snowing afterwards. So.
Well, according to what I read today from the Weather Channel, the early part of the storm next week, if it hits us, we'll just get rain.
That's great.
But if we get hit by the later part of it later in the week, like Thursday or Friday, then that might be snow.
Hey.
Still precipitation.
Yeah, either way, I'm happy with it. The sweet relief of urine.
Cedric Burkhart says poverty doesn't cause crime.
That's true.
Levi Samuel says, okay, that's good. And he also says, "Do you like the rain, Eric and Rachel?"
I love it. You know, being born and raised in California and spending basically my whole life here, I'm very water conscious.
Yeah, I love it here too. Like I've grown to like the rain.
I mean, California's had such water supply issues for such a long time
Yeah.
that the whole state celebrates every time it rains.
Yeah, and it's great, you know. It's
It's also just the fact that because I've spent so many years dealing with weather that is rarely anything but sunny, then it's just always a nice change of pace.
Yeah.
It would take a lot of raininess for me to stop finding a nice change of pace, you know?
Yeah, and like I said, like I've grown to love it here too. Like you said, with such periods of sun, it's nice when the rain comes. It really is. I like the rainy days here.
Also, I think our current home is maximally enjoyed with the coziness factor turned up as high as possible.
Yeah.
Because when it's cold outside like it was last night or the night before, and it gets into the very low 40s or high 30s, you know, just makes going to bed and getting into bed just so satisfying. Well, I am somewhat constipated today, but I'm going poo anyway, you know. It's just been a bit of a day of small turds and just perseverance.
I'm glad you're persevering.
Thanks.
Levi Samuel says, "I love the rain, so relaxing for me. I used to fall asleep." So I love the rain, but I didn't like having to go to school in the rain or like going to work in the rain because it makes me tired. So like rain is cozy to me. So I don't like having to do things in the rain. I'd rather be home and snuggled up in bed.
Well, that's special, Rachel. You could just end that sentence after thanks.
Michelle Way says she loves the rain too. How many different colors are on my face? I feel like I'm very pink in the cheeks, but like mauvey on my eyes. Peach maybe on my head. Yeah, Levi Samuel says, yeah, same Rachel. I love the rain when I'm inside relaxing or in bed. It's so nice. Michelle Way says, I'm so used to farm life in the rain.
Well, we aren't farming anything right now.
Oh, meow.
I guess you could say we're farming comfort.
We are farming comfort.
I'd say we're hauling in a pretty good harvest.
It could be the jacket. I don't know.
Well, Rachel, did you take my advice earlier and apply any forehead scrub?
I didn't.
Oh. My belief is that next year's hottest female fashion trend is going to be forehead makeup.
It could be. It's now popular. Like one of the trends is putting blush like over here and under your eyes. Yeah.
Does it work with rouge as well?
Yes, it does.
Wow. That sounds amazing.
Oh, Paquito, you know Mommy's coming
So it's basically Adamant in pink, right?
What?
It's basically Adam Ant in pink.
Yeah. Yeah. Next time I see it on makeup, bad makeup artists, I'm going to put a picture of Adam
Adam
Ant.
Ant in pink.
Yeah. Yeah. Meow. I'm sorry, but you have to move. Yes.
Yeah, we're not farming anything. Yesterday or the day before, I guess it was a couple days ago now, I walked all the way down the hill to the shed. So, you know, we definitely don't have enough land to farm. We only have 1 acre. But even if we had enough land to farm, I can't even walk a 1/4 acre down a hill. So, it sounds like once every few months. Obviously, I'm not going to be a very successful farmer. It was a lovely trip down the hill. You may have seen it in some of my shorts, including These Are Some Rocks. Hey, Eric, can we look in your shed? Here are some logs. Those were some of my shorts I made the other day. Who left their bike out in the rain for 7 months? Eric.
Oh no.
Those were some of the shorts I made on my trip down the hill.
You got a lot out of that.
Yeah. Oh, kiddiness.
Look who's coming.
I got double kitty.
Double kitty.
I'm doubling the kitty for double the meows. Yeah. These are some rocks. It's kind of a proof of concept that you can make a short about absolutely anything and get thousands of views.
Yeah, you really can.
It's ridiculous. I got, I think these are some rocks, got like 2,500 views.
Would you like a cup? A new mug too, or?
Well, that's your cup. It's
Oh
got
shit!
R
Is
on
it?
No, I mean I was using it,
Oh,
but I'm
that's
saying
fine.
it's the R mug.
Okay. Would you?
I would like more coffee.
Okay.
Yes, you could put it in the R mug, but if you wanted to reclaim the R mug for yourself, since you're R, I would understand that.
Thank you.
She's R. I'm E. We have 2 mugs that I think she had it on the wedding registry, maybe. Is that where we got those mugs from?
Yes.
Yes. She had it on the wedding registry. One of the mugs has the letter E on it, and the other has the letter R. That's not just a coincidence. Those letters stand for our names, Eric and Rachel. There's this viral video of a slice of bread falling that got like thousands of views. Well, thousands of views is not very viral. No, it's not a cause of your FE8, but it will mean that your various function priorities manifest in various ways. Essentially, you won't be accountable on your 5th slot function is the main thing that happens if you've suffered childhood abuse. In other words, you can't be counted on to be fair. Sorry, that's my diagnosis of you. You might say, well, is that really a fair diagnosis, Eric? No, but in general, I can be counted on to be fair. But that's not my 5th slot function anyway. And in general, I can be counted on to speak the truth, as I, at least, to the best of my ability to understand what's objectively true, right? So, what I'm saying is, nevertheless, yeah. Well, I had this one good video called That Looks Like a Good Place for a Chair. And I start on the top of the deck and I point the camera down by this tree, and I say, that looks like a good place for a chair. And then I snip it to the next snip is me sitting down there with the camera still in the same place, sitting in the chair, looking back up and going, I thought if any like 6 second long short is going to do well, like that one would maybe. But and in fact somebody said in the comments, why doesn't this go viral? Well, I don't know why. But it didn't, but it did pretty well. It really helps on shorts to have like cleavage on the thumbnail, I think. I see a lot of the shorts that have a lot of views have like, you know, TNA on them. It pales out your face. You know, I think maybe it's time to bring back the Adam Ant makeup look for men. Maybe I should bring it back in black, you know, like he did it. In fact, maybe right now is the best time to start an Adam Ant cover band called Adam Aren't. With R''ANT. Like there was this Led Zeppelin cover band called Led Zeppelin. That's a good name for a Led Zeppelin cover band.
It is.
That's delicious.
I'm so glad.
Thank you, darling.
You're welcome. Thank you too.
What do you think?
It's delicious.
Nice and strong without being too strong because
Yeah,
I put
half cap.
half decaf, half regular. I want to let you guys at home know that that's a trick you can just cop right from here and just apply yourself. If you're like me, you like coffee on the little bit stronger side, but if it's too strong, then you have caffeine overload problems. So, what's the solution? Just put half caffeinated, half regular. Then you can make it the strength you want without it over caffeinating you. And that's one to grow on.
Oh my gosh, I can't believe we as kids felt differently about 60 minutes. I want to be on your side.
Well, Rachel, I mean, if you had liked 60 Minutes as a kid, then you probably wouldn't be so compatible with me, right? Then you might be an INTP, and then that wouldn't work.
That's true. It wouldn't. See, he does this thing now.
Yep. You're trying to get his smell on your shoes.
Yeah.
Too. Ideally, he'd like to remove Capillo's smell from everything in the whole house. But Capillo did the most amazing thing last night. I couldn't believe it. I was in the garage. She jumped down from this counter onto the ground. She looked at this thing on the ground, looked at me, looked at the thing on the ground, looked at me, was clearly saying to me, hey, Eric, come look at this thing. So I said, okay, what do you want to look at? So I went over there, and there was a live scorpion there, except it was alive, but the stinging part of its tail had been cut off. The only explanation is that my cat apprehended the scorpion, cut its tail off, and then alerted me to the fact that it was there, and then I killed the rest of the way, you know. But I can't conceive of any other way in which that scorpion ends up with his tail cut off unless Capillo did it.
Capillo.
You know, I know I didn't cut his tail off, and I don't know how it would it just happened to have his tail fall off right next to it. So I killed it with this power drill extender bit thing. It's like a long metal stick that you put a drill bit into this end and makes it go longer, you know. I killed it with that thing. Then I stepped on it after I had smushed it with that thing.
It is Levi Samuels. Like, I'm going to make a point to wear shoes on everywhere I walk around in the house because I've gotten into the habit of just wearing my socks, but we've had more than 2 scorpions.
We've seen at least 5 or 6 scorpions in total.
So it's worth it for me to. We should probably tell guests that too.
However, none of them was especially large. They're all like topping out. Like the one that Capillo showed me last night was about as big as they get. And it's still topping out at like this big, you know.
But yeah, she took away the
stinger.
The stinger.
Before she alerted me to it. Like, I don't trust you not to hurt yourself, Eric.
But she knew she didn't want to get pinched by the scorpion either.
Well, yeah, I mean, the thing is, she didn't remove off its claws. She just removed off its stinger. So it's like she can tell the difference between things that look scary and things that are actually bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, we could eat the scorpions. In fact, I thought about that last night here, Lamb, about how with that scorpion last night that was still alive, after I killed it, I thought, oh, I could have roasted this, like kind of naked and afraid, and eaten it. But I'm not really that into eating bugs.
Imagine that's what you said, like, when we first started talking. Like, I'm really into eating bugs.
What's my NFL team right now? 49ers. We live in 49ers country now, and I was never attached to the Rams from back when we lived in LA. Our local TV coverage area gets 49ers games. So
yeah, I usually root for the teams that were nearest. Like even the San Jose Sharks, even though they're having a dreadful season.
Yeah, oh, you like the Bengals? Well, I believe they're playing tonight, aren't they? Isn't it the Panthers versus the Bengals on Amazon Prime? It's the Panthers versus somebody. Hi, Caden Hodge. Fire, 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 fire to you as well. Oh, it's the Bears. It's the Panthers versus the Bears.
Yeah.
Because I got Cole Kimmett on my fantasy team as my tight end this week.
And I decided to not play him this week, so let's see what happens.
She's got him on her team in her league too, but
on the
bench. She's actually carrying 3 tight ends. I'm carrying 2 tight ends. My other tight end has a bye. So, in fact, we were gonna watch the game rather than live streaming about 33 minutes ago, but it looked like I had a lot of pregame to go because it looked like the stands weren't even filled up at all.
Really?
It's at the Bears though, and so they might just not be selling any tickets.
Because it's cold, probably, or no, it's supposed to be warm or something. Let me see in Chicago what's the temperature.
Well, Sabrina Bonda, here's the truth of the matter. I don't really care much about professional football. I'm much more of a college football fan. And what hurts more than any 49ers loss ever could is that USC is 7-3 this year.
God, it's so sad, honestly.
With 2 of those losses that could have easily enough been wins against both Washington and Utah. I mean, we were never going to win that game against Notre Dame. They just destroyed us for some reason. Basically, their defensive coordinator just outcoached Lincoln Riley. But Lincoln Riley had pneumonia at the time, so I'm gonna give him a pass. I'm gonna give him a pass. You like Georgia? I picked Ole Miss this weekend to upset Georgia. I think Ole Miss is gonna. Well, I mean, on my college pick'em on ESPN, serotonin. No, who wants serotonin? What we want is dopamine. What do we want? Dopamine. When do we want it? Yesterday. But I will say I put the Ole Miss upset of Georgia as my number 2 confidence pick this week. So it's only worth 2 points. The most confident is 10. The least confident is 1, right? So I'm not that confident in my upset pick. Don't get me wrong. I put it at 2. But I figured, Georgia's looked suspect in a couple of games this year. Typically, they do play up to or above the level of their competition, But I don't know. I guess it's probably just old USC bias because Lane Kiffin is a former USC coach. I like Lane Kiffin. I'm sorry he got tarmacked. You like Iowa State? Is that what ISU is? The Cyclones? That's a strange team to like. Did you go there? This weekend, I also picked another upset. I picked Rutgers to upset Iowa. Because Rutgers actually looked quite good last week against Ohio State. They just let it get away from them on this one horrible turnover. Well, Rachel got really lucky in her fantasy football league last week because she was up against one of the top guys in her league, but his team was thick with 49ers. His number 1 player was McCaffrey, and so he had like his whole bench playing, and he lost to Rachel. Meanwhile, I had like a toss-up matchup last week, and I lost badly. It was like the projection, we were only a couple points off from each other. I was projected a couple points lower than he was, but I got my butt kicked. First of all, my number 1 guy is Tyreek Hill. And this week he has a bye, but last week he played in Germany, and he did not have a very good game. Tyreek Hill, though, has been a big producer for me this year. He's really the only thing that kept me alive is Tyreek Hill as my number 1 guy. Rachel has Jalen Hurts as her quarterback. So that's pretty good.
Yeah.
No, Miami won that game, I think. Didn't they? But it just was... No, Kansas City won, huh? Kansas City won 21-14. Well, regardless, it was 21-14, so there weren't a lot of points scored. Tyreek Hill he's put up some big fantasy number games this year. He was a good number 1 guy for me to get.
I root for you.
Thanks, darling. I root for you too. We're not even in the same league.
No.
So of course we root for each other.
Oh man. That'd be so much conflict for me to deal with if we were like.
I'm not competitive about this shit.
You
Neither
are.
You.
No, we're not.
I
want to win.
Sure, yeah. But I just find it curious, a fun way to make football more interesting.
Yeah, it does. It really does.
I tell you who's largely been a bust for me, though, is the Raiders running back, Josh Jacobs, I think his name is. He was projected coming into the season as one of the number 1 running backs, but he's really not performed well. But I'm glad the Raiders got rid of their coach. I think he's going to perform a lot better going forward. That cost the Raiders a fair amount of money to sack the GM and coaching staff entirely. Yeah, in the middle of the season. But because they have to keep paying out those contracts, But I'm glad they did it. And the Raiders looked so happy after they beat the Giants 30-6 with a new interim coach or whatever. Maybe it's maybe it's a whole permanent coach. I don't know what their hire is, but
I was trying to figure out what they were like celebrating, but then once you said it, I was like, oh yeah, like I remember the manager being like,
they just were celebrating a regular season win over the Giants, which is
Yeah.
like one of the worst teams in football.
the Jets.
No, it was over the Giants.
Oh, it was over the Giants?
I'm pretty sure, right? What, didn't the Raiders beat the Giants? I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
It
I
was
thought it was.
no, the Jets lost to a different team, I believe. I think they both lost, but I could be wrong. Regardless,
Either they both lost, probably.
so we'll see if the 49ers come back in the second half of the season.
Yeah.
I believe either I or you, one of the two of us, picked up Brock Purdy.
Oh yeah, I did.
You did.
Yeah,
And it's just a
I
great
did.
bye week pickup, you know, off the injured. I mean, off of the waivers or whatever. Because somebody dropped him because 49ers have he's had a couple of off games and the 49ers have a bye week this week. What a great grab from waivers. Brock Purdy's going to have a big second half of the season. If it was my team that picked him up, I'd consider replacing Justin Herbert with him.
Mm-hmm.
But if it's Rachel's team that picked him up, she's got a good backup quarterback. Well, I wouldn't replace Jalen Hurts, I don't think. Jalen Hurts is one of the top 2 or 3 quarterbacks in the league.
Then he's produced then.
Yeah, he's been a good producer. But you get fantasy points for his rushing prowess as well as his throwing prowess, and he's a dual threat quarterback.
That's kind of clutch.
I know this is not something that my audience normally likes to talk about. I love talking about sports. But Dak Prescott had a big game. At least he came back from his flopperoo versus the 49ers. The 49ers, meanwhile, did the opposite. You know, it's like Dallas bottomed out at the Niners. The Niners topped out at Dallas. They've been going the opposite direction since, you know. Well, yeah. Nobody accused the Cowboys of having a great defense, Brian Abanda. Oh, what is that? The Cowboys are going to totally stop everybody. Especially the one-loss Eagles. No. I don't think anybody thought the Cowboys were going to stop the one-loss Eagles. Call it a moral victory. Put it in your pipe, smoke it, and enjoy it. I think he was an INTJ.
I do too. A lot of personality cafe type him as INTJ as well.
Wait, Sabrina, you think the best teams right now are the Ravens, the Chiefs, the Bengals, the Browns, and the Steelers? I get the first 3. What makes you include the Steelers in there? What's their record even? Maybe they've been flying under my radar. The Browns, too, maybe have been flying under my radar. Now you're making me check ESPN NFL section. Let's see, standings. Pittsburgh's 5-3. The Browns are also 5-3. And the Bengals are also 5-3.
So is she just rooting for and against the AFC North?
I mean, it seems to me if you're going to look at the records and overall meowings of things, you'd say the Dolphins, the Ravens, the Jaguars, the Chiefs, the Eagles, and the Lions are the best teams. Because they're all at least 6-2 or better. Well, the Dolphins are 6-3, sorry. But they all have at least 6 wins. The Steelers and the Browns, they both only have 5 wins. And look at this. This is maybe the most notable thing of all. The point differential for the Steelers is minus 30. I don't think the Steelers should be in that list. With a point differential of minus 30, the Browns, okay, they have a point differential of plus 42. So yeah, they're 5-3, but their differential is plus 42. You look at the Dolphins, they have plus 60. The Bills, despite being 5-4, have plus 80. The Ravens are plus 115. The Chiefs are plus 65. And interestingly, the Chargers at 4-4, I have Justin Herbert as my quarterback, are plus 27. So I think you should look at the point differential if you wanted to see who the best team is. And according to the point differential, the best team is the Baltimore Ravens at plus 115. The Eagles are plus 57. The Cowboys are plus 72. Wow. The Detroit Lions are plus 35. The 3-5 Green Bay Packers have a point differential of plus 1. Wow. The Niners are plus 78. You throw the Niners in that mix too. So based on what are the top 4 point differentials? The Bills, the Ravens, the Cowboys, and the Niners. Those are the 4 best point differentials. The Bills, the Ravens, the Cowboys, and the Niners. Isn't that interesting?
That is.
How did the Chiefs lose to the Broncos last week? I don't know. I didn't see that.
Was Taylor Swift there? She starts her European tour soon.
So, needless to say, this is my wife, not my daughter. And even if it were my daughter, why would you be like, "What's your daughter doing at your house?
That's a weird question.
Visiting me, maybe?" If you're broke, try sports gambling. That's not good advice. Sports gambling is very difficult to successfully do. There was a recent game, I don't remember exactly which game it was, where I said, I would bet money that this is man. But I was totally wrong. So, my daughter has been on the channel before, on some occasions.
She's a little bit more private now, I would say, though.
She's always been fairly private.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
I sent her the rap video that we like, the recent one. And I should have known. She already knew it, but she's like, "Oh yeah," she's like, "I like them. They're pretty good."
Well,
she saw them live or him live.
Did she lose money? Who? My daughter? No, she doesn't gamble. I gamble occasionally, but it's been a long time since I've gambled. I'd say at least 4 months since I've gambled.
Mm-hmm.
And with my gambling, baseball is also very hard to predict on any given game, you know. When I did gamble here at the casino, and well, not here, it's in Madera County, but I actually did quite well until I lost a couple times. and then I stopped going there. I still won way more than I lost. So it's like I left there ahead for sure. I won enough money there actually to pay for our wedding rings
Mm-hmm.
and a couple of other things a couple of other expenses. Have I gambled with Lays? Getting wavy Lays was by itself a gamble. We don't normally get wavy Lays.
I appreciate the gamble, though.
I think it paid off.
Yeah, it did.
I think this horse won.
They're really good with dips too, because they're like the waves make it a little bit stronger.
Yeah, right. They're grid dipping chips. True dat. True dat. Today, Rachel and I went out for brunch, as I mentioned, to the Happy Goat. This
Yeah.
restaurant just opened fairly recently in town.
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe a month or two ago. And it's delicious. Oh my
It
goodness.
is.
I'm so happy with this restaurant because, first of all, if you want to eat in town prior to the opening of the Happy Goat, and it is not yet 4:45 p.m., you have a very limited number of choices. So there's basically no nice lunch place you can go to in town until this place opened. And now we went there. We both got breakfast. We got eggs over hard, bacon, sourdough toast, and home fries. And every single bit of it, from the butter on the bread to the home fries to the eggs to the other thing, bacon, everything was delicious. It was super delicious.
Yeah, it was.
They say they're farm to table and they talk about like their food being so fresh or whatever. I don't normally buy that shit. I think it's just marketing. I buy it in this instance. I believe it. Their food just tastes like it has just higher quality ingredients or something. I don't know. It was fucking fantastic. So, what's my NBA team? Well, Rachel and I live in the TV broadcast area of the Warriors and in the TV broadcast area of the Sacramento Kings. So we have two teams that we can watch the games of with their local broadcasters. Oh, you're the Warriors too, huh? Well, cool. We are also prospective Warriors fans. You know, I don't watch a lot of NBA. I'm much more of a fan again of college basketball than I am uh, of the NBA. Well, if you're from Hotlanta, that's what they call it. I don't know if you've heard that expression before. They don't just call it Atlanta. They call it Hotlanta. So, anyway, if you're from Hotlanta, then it's appropriate you like the Hawks because that's alliterative. Oh, you're from Atlanta. Oh, well, you must be in the boring part of Atlanta. If you were in the exciting part of Atlanta, you'd be from Hotlanta. If it were really called Atlanta and not Hotlanta, then the basketball team would be called the Ox, not the Hawks. Truer words have never been spoken. Well, maybe you're not familiar with Atlanta's second name, Hotlanta. Just like Philadelphia is known as the city of brotherly shove, now that the Eagles have begun doing that bush push on every play, it seems like. Oh, let's just get all in a big group and just shove each other forward. So too is Atlanta, no longer just Atlanta, it's Hotlanta. If you're from Atlanta, I'm sure you've watched plenty of The Real Housewives of Atlanta. If so, you know But all of those people are from Georgia. One thing that also I know about Atlanta is that everybody there drinks Pepsi products. Even though personally, I don't dislike Pepsi products at all. I dislike hearing the following thing when I order a Coke. Is Pepsi okay? But I'm not somebody who's gonna like turn down a Pepsi over a Coke. I find them more or less just as good as each other. Unlike Rachel's dad, who is like thinks Pepsi is the devil or whatever. Oh, I will not drink a Pepsi. Get it away from me. My lips are too good for Pepsi. I mean, it's not like it's Diet Coke or something. Pepsi, Coke, who really cares? I'll even go for RC Cola. That's fine too. I don't normally get store brand cola, but if I did, it wouldn't bother me that much. Probably would be fine. Have I ever been to Atlanta before? No, I've never been to Atlanta. I just know a few things about it. I know things about places from TV. That's why I know that in New York, instead of going like to the 7-Eleven, you go to the bodega. It is Veterans Day this weekend, huh? I have various different visions of New York from different films and TV shows. Like one of my, I actually been to New York when I was in seventh grade, but I'm not absolutely sure I do. If I could come up with all 50 on the fly, but it's not like I wouldn't recognize the name of a U.S. state. What is that place? When I went to New York in seventh grade, I actually went to the top of the World Trade Center. All right, you watch the game then, and you enjoy some delightful Thursday night football. So yeah, I went to the top of the World Trade Center, looked out over the city. I don't remember everything else we did in the city. We went to Washington, D.C. too. It was a school field trip thing. I got sick right towards the end of the trip. I was really sick on a flight home. We were told in no uncertain terms not to take the subway. Apparently, it was very dangerous. This was back in like 85 or something. Yeah, it was. It was in 85. So, maybe 80. Yeah, it was. No, it was in 84. It's in 84. And, it was pretty like graffiti-ish back then, I think. I didn't go down to the subway, but I did not go to a bodega that I recall. You think they make expensive sculptures out of weed in California? You mean you want to get like a the weed equivalent of a chocolate fountain at your wedding or something? Yeah, well, I don't remember experiencing anything like crime or anything there, but I do remember the teachers being very much like, you can't go here, you can't go there, because it's dangerous. When we went to Washington, D.C., the worst thing we did, by far, the whole trip, was go to the tomb of the unknown soldier and stand there in the cold for that whole ceremony. Oh my God. It was so boring. It was so boring that I remember it like 39 years later how boring it was. I mean, that's pretty impressive amount of boredom. If I can remember it 39 years later, how bored I was.
That's really boring.
Yeah. That's some impressive level of boredom. The Tomb of the Unknown Soldier. They have this whole ceremony where these military people come out. They shoot blanks out of these rifles. They fold a flag. They put it on a thing, etc., etc. It was incredibly boring. No offense on Veterans Day. No offense to the unknown soldiers who died and stuff. All praises due. But that ceremony, when you're 13 years old, is, I mean, even at 53, is absolute torture to sit through. Or stand through. There's no chairs. You have to stand there the whole time. I mean, I don't know if it's still the same way as it used to be, but that's how it was in 85, 4. It was a long time of boringly standing somewhere in silence. You can't make noise, obviously. It's a very solemn thing.
Gosh, I can barely stand for like anything.
I thought you were going to say, I can barely stand hearing about it. It sounds so boring.
Seriously.
Yeah, so if you want to be really bored sometime, you want to test the limits of boredom, attend that ceremony. I bet you on Veterans Day it's going to be like 5 times as long even. Probably have special extra Veterans Day stuff.
Mm-hmm. Probably a band.
So if you're in the New York, well, I mean, they just play like taps and shit. You know, it's like a funeral they have every day for all the soldiers who died who couldn't be identified. It's like a long, boring stand-up funeral every day. PTSD from boredom. Exactly. It's not like it's not. And the thing is, unlike a normal funeral, it's specifically not for anyone. It's for people who you don't know who they are. It's like, could you imagine going to the funeral for the unknown dead person? Who would go to that funeral? Funeral, mystery guest. Well, we'll find out when we get there who died. What's our go-to McDonald's order? Well, mine is double quarter pounder meal with large Coke, but a regular size fries. No pickles, please. Double quarter pounder meal, no pickles, regular size fries. Rachel's go-to meal is the 4-piece chicken nuggets with the regular size fries and a Coke. I get her a large Coke, but because why not just get a large Coke? But she rarely finishes her drink.
Just now.
Oh, you handed it to me?
Yeah.
Good for me. And I will, since we're talking about McDonald's, mention the most effective bit of McDonald's advertising or campaign that they had recently, which was Grimace's birthday lunch. You want Tagore Chippa? I don't know what that is.
Neither do I.
I do know that the actress who played Steve Martin's girlfriend in Little Shop of Horrors was married to a man named Tybor Harddick. I found that out today.
Marriage didn't last.
No, it was her first of 2 marriages. Interestingly, her second husband's last name was Soft Penis. That marriage didn't last either. I guess she didn't like it either way. JJ Bros. I wonder if JJ Bros has a business called like John Jacobson and Brothers or something. Mixed spaghetti. If they had spaghetti at McDonald's, I don't think I would ever order it. Just spaghetti's not really. So it's something you end up eating at home more than you get it at a restaurant because there's nothing that special about spaghetti. It's like
no.
the easiest thing you can cook that requires actual cooking.
Yeah, that's why people spend time on the sauce. If you're an Italian cook, because the like spaghetti dinner was mostly like the easy plus large portion kind of dinner, you know? Like it could feed a lot of people and it's easy to make. So
JJ Bros and Hose Escort Services? I think it's funny how the word escort turned into a word for prostitute when it just means to accompany someone somewhere. You know, I'd like to escort you to the ball or something. But it became that because of the euphemism. Well, somebody coined this term, the euphemism escalator. I don't remember who it was who coined that term. But as soon as you have a word that starts out as a clinical word for something, or it means something normal, well, this is like a reverse euphemism escalator. So normally the euphemism escalator works like this. Originally, the word idiot was a clinical term for mentally retarded people. Then it became pejorative, so it was replaced with moron, which became pejorative, so it was replaced with whatever, right? And now we're on, developmentally disabled or mentally disabled or something like that, which is cumbersome enough that it probably won't. I mean, it's like there's no way to go anywhere really with that. You just kind of stuck in this weird limbo of, well, there's no good way to refer to those people. Yeah. With escort, it's the opposite kind of euphemism escalator. You've got something that's generally frowned upon that is trying to position itself as something that's not frowned upon. It's fine to escort somebody to a party. So I'm not a prostitute, I'm an escort. I escort people places, except that's not what she actually does. She doesn't escort people places.
Sometimes that so like there's this movie that uh what's that porn star's name with the long dark hair?
Is it? Are you talking about
You were talking
the
shot Sasha
Sasha
Grey.
Grey?
Yeah, she stars in a movie about being an escort
Uh huh.
and like mostly she meets guys at places, but like yeah. So yeah.
Bryce, the Fortnite kid. Hello. How are you? So anyway, uh, there may be a lot of fake veterans. I don't know about that, but I do know this. My father was a real veteran, and he hated people coming up to him and saying thank you for your service. But he still wore his hat with his the ship he was on in Korea, the USS Bradford. He'd still wear that sometimes. But I think he would have worn it more if people didn't come up to him periodically.
I forget if I said he wore his hat on Veterans Day one year, and I think I said thank you for your service. I'm not sure. I really don't know.
I think he would have thought it's appropriate on Veterans Day.
It was. He did. He was happy that I said it. Like I could tell. He was like, "Thank you."
Sitting on the floor eating cold canned spaghettios, no silverware, no furniture, electricity's off, and I gotta eat my cold spaghettios.
Oh God, that's so sad.
That is pretty sad here. I hope you have plenty of warm clothes and blankets so you don't get cold.
Me too. I really hope at least you have warm clothes and blankets.
Rachel and I got to experience having no electricity, or actually no heat, and for some period of time no electricity, and being woefully unprepared for such when we first moved in here. We were freezing our ass off for a while. What a pain in the butt that was.
Yeah.
Wave, mountain, castle, candle, wine, candle, tree, moon.
There's, I think, Dracula there too.
Oh. So you're saying a tsunami caused a mountain of castles to put out your candle, causing your blood to spill into a wine glass, which attracted Dracula. And then you lit another candle, and you had, fortunately, a Christmas tree, which you used as a wooden stake, and you staked them through the heart under the light of the crescent moon. Is that what you're trying to say, Hero Lamb? Well, that's good to know. You did know a guy who ate uncooked block of ramen.
Oh no!
I could see liking it as a crunchy thing. Rachel likes to eat croutons as chips.
I do.
Well, croutons are pretty damn good. It's pretty hard to deny the deliciousness of croutons.
Yeah.
I'm going to check on the Gami, El Gami, as they call it. I'm going to have to turn off the mute. There. Hopefully, I don't get in trouble for having a little bit of this advertisement audio in the background. It's for Dupixent. It's another drug I want to be on. It's Dupixent, along with Jardiance. How's it going? It is going fine. Ernest Clyde, how are you? Is your name Ernest Clyde because you are a very earnest Clyde? No. Otherwise, it would be spelled with an E. I mean, with an A. EA. Like the sports video game company.
Please,
So, what are you looking for? My squirrels.
lipstick.
Oh, your lipstick. If I were a girl, I would not wear lipstick ever. And the reason is because it makes your lips feel like they've got this weird stuff on them. It's kind of like antiperspirant in its texture.
Yeah, that's true.
Read that in Waylon's voice. Doing all right. Yeah, I ain't paid to win. Is that Waylon's voice? I don't know what Waylon sounds like.
Is it okay that I wear makeup? I like makeup. I think.
Of course, Rachel. Just because I wouldn't wear lipstick if I were a girl, as I say right now. I mean, maybe if I were a girl, maybe I'd want to wear it. I don't know, but doesn't mean I disapprove of you wearing it. I don't mind chapstick, but like this is better than chapstick. This is what I use for my lips.
That has no smell or taste to it.
Well, it's more greasy.
This isn't actually a lipstick too. It's like this lip balm.
But just a good old boy. Never meaning no harm. Like that. Well, here I am. I was talking earlier about how I want to bring back the Adamant makeup look and have a black line across my face like this.
I will like, can I put you on bad?
Desperate, but not serious. That'd be a good costume to have, an Adamant costume. Because it's just so not relevant. You know, you could hardly get any less relevant than Adamant. Although I do believe I saw him on one of those commercials about how, hey, sales forces, stop referring to your employees as rock stars because they're not really rock stars. You know,
Yeah, that was a good commercial.
I think I saw Adam on one of those, but I'm not sure. I could be just thinking about Billy Idol. I think I saw Adam in. Anyway, regardless. Besides that, he definitely has no relevance. You never heard of Adamant? Well, he sang this song. Don't drink, don't smoke. What do? You don't drink, don't smoke. What do? Subtle innuendo follows. Must be something inside. He sang that one. And is that one other one of his famous songs is Desperate but Not Serious. Your kisses drive me delirious. He's got, Ant music is kind of, it got some radio play. May have a couple others that I'm not remembering. He didn't have a lot of hits, but he had a movie. He made a feature film. You know how Madonna made like Desperately Seeking Susan? And whatever other movie she made. Prince made Purple Rain. Well, Adam Ant made a movie too.
That was like the thing to do, huh?
Mm-hmm. Did you know that?
No. So why did he have, like, what was the movie about?
it was just a vehicle for adamant. Let me look it up on the internet.
You don't think those milk would be? You don't think those milk?
Adamant movie. Adam Ant. Let's see what his film career includes here. Film. Let's see. He's been in a few different movies. Been in a number of movies.
He did?
Yeah, look at all the movies he's been in.
Huh.
I don't know which was the movie I'm thinking of. Like he was the star of this movie I'm thinking of. What is it called? Let's see. He was the star of the one I'm thinking of. Hmm. Hmm. Must be this one. This one's starring him. Doesn't say much about it. But that doesn't seem like the one I'm thinking of anyway. But it would have to be, could be Nomads, I guess. Except the only one of these films that was starring him was Trust Me.
I bet you're right. He was probably in that commercial.
No, I mean, I don't even know if he would need to be in this commercial. Look at his film.
I know.
Look at his film and TV and theater, and he wrote an autobiography, and he has a tattoo of depicting Lord Nelson's last prayer before the Battle of Trafalgar. He has bipolar disorder. Well, good for him. He promotes better understanding of mental illness.
Good for him.
That's a lot better than promoting a worse understanding of mental illness.
Yes.
Let's see. The truth hits you as you bite into uncooked ramen. Well, that's true. They're dried but pre-cooked. That's fine. You make a good distinction there. Rolling in my 5 with the rag top down so my hair can blow all up and around. Then soon you will see me driving in your town and say, "Hey there, Eric, how you doing?" Well, if you're gonna eat it dry, you should smash it up in the bag first into little pieces. Then just pour the little pieces in your mouth. I used to eat when I was a kid. I used to eat uncooked spaghetti as a snack. I'd get it out of the pantry and just chew on the uncooked spaghettis. What you going to eat? What you want to have for a little treat? Or what you want to eat? Well, Lou Smith, when I was a kid, it was dried spaghetti. But now,
Oh, really?
yeah, I like to eat dried spaghetti. It was crunchy.
It was crunchy, and when you're hungry and there's nothing really else, I mean,
It wasn't even that. It was like if I wanted something crunchy to crunch on, but I wasn't really that hungry. I'd crunch on those things. Um, Nowadays, if I'm going to have a snack, I'm most likely going to get a couple to like between 3 and 7 slices of what's that stuff called? Salami. And 1 to 2 snack cheeses.
Ooh.
That's my go-to snack right now.
I think you've matured.
Think I have?
Yeah.
What used to be my go-to snack? Just candy and sunshine.
Maybe.
Grits. Well, these days we don't get a lot of sliced cheese. We get cheese snacks, which are they're like little blocks of cheese that you put in like a kid's lunch or whatever.
Yeah.
It's the most convenient way to deal with the cheese because that means every bit of cheese you're going to eat remains wrapped up by itself, fully sealed until you eat it. So you don't have to worry about it going bad, really.
Yeah. And it goes really nice with the salami. The little round salamis, really good.
And the nice thing is also salami and cheese, it's easier than making a sandwich.
It is.
You don't have to get any bread out.
You don't need any bread.
If we were wise people with a good understanding of what needs to be done, Rachel and I would purchase a toaster. Maybe someday we will.
Maybe that'll be the next thing I buy.
Remember how there used to be a light hanging there? Did there? Or were they just those hooks all the time?
They're just the hooks the whole time, but it looks like there would be. Right?
I think I found that lamp someplace that used to go there.
Oh, really?
They took it down, obviously, because the realtor said, "That looks horrible. Take that down." Which I'm sure the realtor was right.
Yeah.
It's not like the people who lived here before us had good taste.
No.
Their idea of decorating was to vomit crucifixes all along the wall on the second floor. They had a sign. They had signs on the doors, like pantry. Remember the pantry sign?
Yep.
It took us a while to figure out how to get that one off. I think Cameron had to help me with it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I couldn't figure out how to get it off. It was hard to figure out, ultimately. But anyway.
You figured it out on your own, though.
I remember Cameron was here.
Oh. Yeah, I remember him helping you. You figured out how it was put on.
After I took it off.
Oh.
I don't remember how we got it off. I'm assuming Cameron figured it out. Oh, I think I just twisted it.
Yeah,
like
you
this.
did. Yeah.
I twisted
You
the whole
figured it
sign.
out, yeah.
And then after I took it off, I realized, oh, that's how it was put on. What a dumb way to put something on, because how are you going to ever take it off unless you know that it has to, you have to like slide it this way and this way.
It goes like that.
Like, how the fuck are you going to guess that unless you put it on yourself and remember that's how it went on, which, why would anybody retain such useless information? Much more useless than the information I retained about how boring it is to go to the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier. I will never do that again, I tell you.
Oh my god.
I learned my lesson that day.
Oh, sorry, Trouble.
Ruben, what I learned today is that your uncooked bottom ramen is actually called your grundle. I didn't know that until today. I had not heard the term before. In fact, I'm having a little bit of like Mandela effect with this whole thing because
I'm telling you.
I believe you, but I'm telling you that I remember it differently, and I don't know if it's Mandela effect or whatever. But
Maybe because we're it's a generational.
it might be that. It might be. Maybe the meaning of the word changed over time and the new word came, who knows?
Or location Mandela effect.
Could be that. Or it could be a personal Mandela effect, like me calling the severe tire damage things the tiger teeth. As far as I can tell, nobody except me and my friends called them that. But when I was a kid, I thought everybody called them that. In fact, I thought that all the way until I invited my friend Will, who was my college roommate, who also lived in a different part of LA, to hang out with me one time in Arcadia when I was back from college. And I told him to meet me at the Tiger Teeth. And when he finally met up, he's like, I thought you were talking about a restaurant or something. That was when I finally realized, no, it's just me and my friends that call those the Tiger Teeth. I didn't make it up. It's like probably someone's older brother started calling it that, and we all just started calling it that and thought that's what it was called. So it's not like, in that instance, it's not a Mandela effect thing because it's not like there are a bunch of people who remember it that way. It's best explained as an entirely local term that somebody made up. Cold cucumber sauce, huh? I mean, is it a sauce for cold cucumbers or is it a sauce made out of cold cucumbers? Can I 100, 100, 100? Can you 300? I'm not sure, can you? I don't watch that show because your nightmares. Oh, this dog. I think a lot of times when he starts barking, it's in response to my voice out here. To the minute. Replied, how old are you to the minute? In minutes, how old are you? It's the Greek yogurt plus little cucumber cubes. And then minced mint and chilled. Minced mint. Minced mint. 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 Men's. Quince, I guess. It's savory, though sweet, like yogurt. Would you call it? Would you call it umami? Minced mint meat. Say my name. My name. Jane Colberson. Born in 56. Wow, you're 15 years older than me. Congratulations. You almost made it to 70. Well, the neighbors. No, it's not those neighbors. I was going to say the neighbors are home, therefore the dog will stop barking. But it's not those neighbors. I finally understand why they looked at me so funny when I called Progressive and asked them if they could grundle my insurance. How did they look at you funny over the phone, Eric? With their voices. So I want to talk a little bit about comedians. I've been watching a fair number of comedians. I've noticed that one plague on stand-up comedy. There's a bit of a plague, probably in every art industry, really, of people who are good at doing stand-up comedy, but aren't actually good at being funny. And they fool a lot of people, I guess. Well, congratulations, Ernest Clyde. Well, presumably, they're waiting for their owners to come out and say, yes, I acknowledge that that person's right there, or whatever. Why did my dog hate the mailman so much? Every time the mailman came, it's like, the other thing is, if I didn't have the security door, screen door thing locked, she would push it open. It was the latching part wasn't very sturdy, right? So I always had to make sure that I had that locked or the door closed, the inside door closed, or else she would push through the door and go after the mailman. I mean, she would never bite him, but this little dog running up to you going, is obviously not desirable.
No.
But that's one of the things why your hunting dog's never STF.
SCFU. LOL.
Yes,
No.
yes, I do know, yes. Well, fortunately, our neighbor's dog is fairly barky, but usually not barking when they're home. And even if Ruben, I'd appreciate if you not describe the flavor of your grundle for us as slightly umami, slightly sweet. Okay, that's gross.
Ew.
Fortunately, even when the dog is barking, if we're inside and got the shutters closed and everything, I can't hear it for shit. I don't hear a single thing right now for dog barking. And we're fairly insidey people. Sometimes I'm annoyed, like I gotta go in the garage to smoke because the dog's barking too much. But at Jana Culbertson, did they say your name? How did it feel to not hear your name said? I did say her name. I just may have said it incorrectly. So I guess you could make the argument that I did not say her name. And you would probably win that argument. But I don't want to play that game right now. Okay? I'm not playing that game. I watched an episode of Law and Order earlier. It made me very mad. Because it was written, they were writing this character to be like Ann Coulter. And plenty of the argumentation the character was using was sound enough argumentation. And then some of it was straight up groupist nonsense, the horrible left or whatever, both of which I could accept. But when they had her doing bullshit rhetorical moves, like shifting ground on instead of responding on point to the attorney's slippery slope argument, I had to stop watching it because it just made me so mad. Ice-T's on Law and Order Special Victims Unit. And that brings me back to the topic of comedians. The funniest of whom, I think, is John Mulvaney or something like that. Mulaney. He is hilarious, and he does a hilarious bit about Ice-T on Law and Order Special Victims Unit. having to have sex addiction explained to him by the other detectives. It's hilarious. He does a lot of hilarious shit.
Yeah, he does.
I've watched a lot of comedians. He's the one who impresses me the most. And who just makes me die laughing the most. Of course, the problem with stand-up comedy is it's like single-use media. You might be able to rewatch it again later on, but by and large, comedy has the lowest replay ability of any medium. So, and stand-up comics, they might have a couple hours total of material, So you exhaust your supply of their stuff pretty quickly. Calais Hilliard. Hello. Callie?
Callie?
I think Leigh is normally says lay, right? Or Lee.
I'd say Lee. I before E except after C, so that'd be wrong. Lay.
Well, I think it's normally pronounced lay, but
Calais.
K-A-E would normally be pronounced K.
Kaylee.
Kaylay would be how I would guess it would be pronounced, but I could be wrong. They do those jokes at clubs for months and years and then put it together into a solid hour special. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. So much work goes into an hour and they perfect their delivery, etc. And also, you can only get really successful comedy done in a smallish comedy club. Once you get a bigger audience, it doesn't really play as comedy nearly as well.
Yeah. They see what works and what doesn't in the smaller clubs. It's worth going to see it. If you're in New York City, I would suggest going to the Comedy Store.
I'd suggest doing what I did in middle school. Go to the top of the World Trade Center. That was pretty interesting to look down from there. So I'd suggest that to anybody visiting New York City. I'm assuming nothing's changed in the ensuing years. That's a pretty good World Trade Center joke. So yeah, in fact, that guy's comedy is what inspired me to add Law and Order to our DVR thing, and I do like Law and Order a lot. I always liked Law and Order. I love the fact that over the whole 20 years of it, they kept the same opening sequence and song, which in 1990 already sounded like it was a couple of years dated. You know, the song did, and by 2010, just it was it was just so rich with SI for everybody. You know,
Mm-hmm.
like the sound of it, you just immediately just picture all this Law and Order stuff.
Brown, brown, brown.
And then when it actually starts chunk chunk,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of SI probably for tons of people about Law and Order.
Oh
I think
yeah.
because it's one of those shows that appeals to pretty much anybody. It's not for girls. It's not for boys. It's not unlike Special Victims Unit. It's not too depressing. Usually they keep it not too depressing. Right. Well, that's what I'm saying here, Lamb. Regular Law and Order is a lot more emotionally safe to watch than things like Criminal Minds or SVU, which I suspect was originally called in the concept Law and Order Sex Crimes. You know, but then they decided that was too jarring as a title, so they retitled it.
Special Victims Unit.
Yeah. But I really like in Murders in the Building how Meryl Streep is gonna play the mom in, like, I forget what it's called, but it's something burn unit.
Yeah, yeah. Special Victims Burn Unit.
No, it's just like CSI Akron burn unit or something. Jesus is king and he wants a relationship with us. He loves us so much. Stay safe and stay blessed in Jesus' name. Crucifix heart. Well, thanks, Levi. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Levi.
God bless you too.
God bless you too.
God bless us, everyone.
Yes, God bless us, everyone.
I find that notion so disturbing I'm even removing the comment here, Lamb. So,
I feel like I can go for a salad. Would you like a salad?
I can go for a salad.
Raspberry or sesame?
Sesame.
Okay.
Let's see what's going on here. They still haven't started the football game. They have, but I haven't caught up to real time yet. The reason one of the main reasons why I like Amazon Prime Thursday Night Football is could they have a better broadcast team? Al Michaels and Kirk Herbstreit? Wow, it's fantastic. Um, okay, so I think it's about time to call it a stream. And the reason is because I think it's about time to watch some Thursday Night Football. Later on, I plan to go to sleep, and then hopefully in the morning, I'll attend to a couple of little tasks here or there. We'll have to see how that goes. So, thanks a lot for being here. And don't forget to eat plenty of cheese.